Right. Okay. So recovery models means the behavior of the log file is it has to record each and everything. Once the transaction is completed, it will send the particular record from your log file to data file. Once the record is sent to the data file, the same transaction will be okay. See guys, let me tell you one thing. Okay. So in the log file, this is how it is going to store. Insert into okay. Any transaction is there. Insert into table name. Okay, employee, imagine the table name is employee, insert into table name employee values, okay, 1 comma something like Dhananjay, okay, comma something 50,000, right, so 50,000. So this is your transaction guys, the complete okay, this line you can say it is a transaction, but when it is committed, okay, so the whole transaction will be stored inside in your log file. Your log file will record the transaction command, okay, when the transaction came, at what time it came, what is the date and time, what is that particular database, on what database it is going to execute, on what table it is going to insert, whatever might be, okay, on what table it is going to perform the activity, okay, previous LSN, each transaction will have LSN number, previous LSN, current LSN, so everything it is going to store inside in your log file. Okay, so whenever this transaction is committed, only these records will be inserted into your data file. Okay, this is the whole transaction, right? The whole thing will be stored inside in your log file, whereas this is transaction and this is record, guys. Whenever the transaction is committed, then the record, the record, now you cannot call it as a transaction. The data file records will be there, in the log file transactions will be there. Now you came to know the difference between record and transaction. Whenever
Yes,
you
sir.
type a select star from table name, you will get 1 Dhananjay 50,000. You don't get insert into table name values, guys. Got the point? So when the transaction is committed, the record will be moved to the data file permanently. And once the record moved, the whole transaction will be truncated from your log file, guys. This is the actual behavior of the log file. This is the actual behavior of the log file. Any questions, any doubts, guys? Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, done. Okay, so this is how it will work, guys. So this is the difference between a transaction and the record. Okay, so this is how your log file will behave, right? What recovery model will do? It is going to change the behavior of the log file. The same thing will be there. It is going to change the behavior of the log file. How it is going to change, I'll tell you. Okay, so we have three recovery models, guys. Three recovery models. Okay, actually four recovery models, and you can call it as officially three recovery models are there. One is full recovery. Important question, important interview question. Second one is bulk logged recovery model. Third one is simple recovery model. Okay, full recovery model, bulk logged recovery model, and simple recovery model, guys. So what it will do? Okay, in full recovery model, whatever we discussed, your log file will behave like this only. Okay, completely whatever we discussed till now, that's the actual behavior of the full recovery model. That's why if you see, yesterday I gave you an assignment, can you take the full differential and log backups on the system databases? Actually, for some system databases you can take it, for some system databases you cannot take it. How it will decide why we cannot take full backup, or why we cannot take log backup on some system databases? There is a reason. There is a reason, guys. So listen carefully. So in the full recovery model, if the database is in full recovery model, it will record each and every transaction. Okay, it will record each and every transaction, and the log file won't be truncated automatically. The log file won't be truncated automatically. If the transactions are committed, then only it will be truncated. But if the transactions are not committed, it won't be truncated automatically, guys. Okay, so listen carefully. In the full recovery model, whatever we discussed, it will record each and everything about that particular transaction. Why it will record, guys? Any reason why it will record? Why it will record each and everything? Okay, so for the safety purpose, for example, you are inserting 1 lakh transactions, or imagine why 1 lakh, let's go for 1000 transactions, guys. You are inserting 1000 transactions into the database. 999 transactions are successfully inserted. Final one transaction is there. Okay, during this, suddenly the SQL server is restarted, guys. What will happen? What will happen, guys? So the mechanism, how beautiful it is, how they designed, how Microsoft designed the log file. So they just whenever the server comes back, right? So right, while sending the money, if you are sending 1,000 rupees to me, there are two chances. Either it has to be completely successful or it has to be completely failed. It's not like 500 rupees comes to my account and 500 rupees cannot transfer. Not like that, right? Either it should be fully successful or fully failed. In the same way, whenever you are inserting any transactions, all the transactions are fully committed or it won't be committed, guys. Got the point? If you are inserting 1,000 records, all 1,000 records should be fully committed or it won't commit all the records. 0 records it has to commit. It's not like 10 records, 20 records or 900 records it is going to commit. So once power comes back, it should have one query, right? That query will rerun again. If any record is not inserting, the same query will rerun again. That's why it will store. That's why it is going to store. That's why it is going to store. In the log file. If something happened, again it has to. Again it has to copy. If something happened, again it has to copy. Again it has to rerun that same transaction. This is a mechanism of the log file, guys. This is the mechanism of the log file. This is how it will work usually. Okay, this is how it will work usually. So if something happened, if it is not committed, next time it has to run, right? So it has to remember, right, what transaction it has to run on what database I have to run. It has to remember, right? So that's why it is going to track each and every transaction, each and every point about the transaction. So this is how the log file. This is how the log file behavior, guys. Actual behavior is like this. If the database is in full recovery model, if the database is in full recovery model, if the database is in full recovery model, this is how exactly it will work. Your log file will work like this. It is going to it is going to completely record each and every transaction. Whenever needed, it is going to reuse the same transaction. If the something happened because of some issues like power failures or disk failures, or someone is restarted the SQL server, it is going to reuse the same transaction. That is called redo undo. Redo means again it is going to redo the same transaction. When it is going to redo the same transaction, if something happened, then only it will redo the same transaction or undo the same transaction. Undo means it will cancel. It will cancel the transaction and again it is going to redo the transaction, guys, to maintain the consistency on the database. So in the full recovery model, whatever we are discussing in the full recovery model, the log file will record each and every transaction. Each and every transaction and details about the transaction it will record, and log file won't be truncated automatically. It won't be truncated automatically in the full recovery model. So usually log file growth will be high. Why? Because it is going to store lot of things, guys. Lot of things it is going to store. So that's why not only a single transaction, when this transaction came, at what time it came, on what database it executed, on what table it was executed. What is the timestamp, like what is LSN number, previous LSN, current LSN, lot of things like 108 attributes. For one transaction it will store 108 attributes. Imagine for 100 transactions it will store 10,800 transactions. It will store 10,800 details it will store. So that's why if your database is in full recovery model, your log file growth will be very high. But once the transactions are committed, then automatically your log file will be truncated, guys. So it depends how the log file is going to be truncated in the full recovery model, right? So in the full recovery model, one more important point is all the backups are possible. All the backups are possible. All the backups are possible. Full backup, differential backup, log backup, copy only backup, whatever backups are there, all backups are possible. In the full recovery model, all the backups are possible. So that is called PITR, point in time recovery. point in time recovery. What is this point in time recovery, guys? Recover your
Sir,
database. Yes, yes,
yeah,
please.
yes, sir. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so point in time recovery means recovering your database or recover your database till before it is corrupted, a second before it is corrupted. Imagine yesterday we discussed it, right? 8:14 it was corrupted. We cannot recover 8:14. Why? Because at exactly 8:14 it was corrupted. So we can recover at least a second before its corruption. 8:13:59 we can recover. How can we achieve that? By using full backup, differential backup, log backups, and tail log backup. In the full recovery model, we can take all the backups, right? So that's why point in time recovery is possible in the full recovery model. Guys, any issues, any doubts, please let me know. Okay, so if you have all the backups, point in time recovery is possible. Okay, so I'll explain about the bulk log recovery model, and simple recovery model, guys. In case of any questions, you can ask me and you will get a clarity, right? The same thing in the bulk log recovery model, guys. What will happen? I'll tell you. So, bulk log recovery model is also one kind of full recovery model only. Bulk log recovery model is also one kind of full recovery model only, but small difference is there. If normal transactions are there like this, it will behave like a full recovery model. Okay, if any bulk operations are there, all the bulk operations are minimally logged. Means, guys, this is called fully logged. Fully logged means what? Writing the complete details in the log file is called fully logged. Guys, give me 2 minutes, I'll be back. Okay, so fully logged means what, guys? Fully logged means writing each and everything in the log file is called fully logged. Minimally logged means what? Writing the basic details about the transaction. Bulk inserts very huge in size, right? If you write each and everything, again it has to store 108 properties of each transaction. Imagine 10 lakh transactions are there in the bulk inserts. Okay, 10 lakh into 108 properties. How many, guys? 10 lakh into 108 properties. 10 lakhs into 108, guys. You cannot even imagine. Very big number, right? So that much of, okay, details are going to be stored in your log file. So log file growth you cannot control. So that's why what we are going to do, okay? 1 minute, guys. Okay, so that many details it is going to store. It is very huge in size, so which cannot control the log file growth. So it is going to consume the whole drive. The log file, in which drive you are storing your log file, it is going to consume the whole drive, guys. So which creates your database went to offline. That's why all the bulk operations are minimally logged, means only basic details you can store. If you are going to store the basic details, okay, so what happened, guys? If you're going to store the basic details, so you cannot recover it. Okay, If you're going to store minimal details, so basic details, you cannot recover the transaction. So in the bulk log recovery model, all backups are not possible. Especially log backups are not possible. Okay, so if log backups are not possible, right? What happened, guys? If the log backups are not possible, okay, point in time recovery is not possible. Point in time recovery is possible only if you have all the backups. Okay, if you don't have all the backups, point in time recovery is not possible. Point in time recovery means what, guys? Recover the database till the point before it is corrupted. If the database is corrupted at 8:30, recovering till at least 8:29 seconds, till before a second, guys. How can we achieve? We can achieve using your full differential log backups and tail log backups. So, but in the what is that? Bulk log recovery model. In the bulk log recovery model, tell me, guys, point in time recovery possible or not possible?
If there is a bulk log, there is no possible, sir.
There is
Okay. So, guys, see a small point. We have to remember small point. It will behave like a full recovery model if there are no bulk operations. Agree? It will behave like a full recovery model if there are no bulk operations. Is it clear? If there are no bulk operations, it will behave like a full recovery model. Is this point clear? Right.
Yes.
So it will behave like a full recovery model means point in time recovery is possible or not possible in the full recovery model?
Possible.
Possible, right?
Possible.
So the answer is yes. The answer is yes and no. When it is yes, if there are no bulk operations, point in time recovery is possible per bulk log recovery model. Okay, if there are no bulk, if there are bulk operations, point in time recovery is not possible. Why? Because all the bulk operations are minimally logged, right? So let me phrase it, guys. If there are no bulk operations, point in time recovery is possible. If there are bulk operations, point in time recovery is not possible, guys. Clear? Why? Because all bulk operations are minimally logged. So it can't store all the details about the transactions. So that's why log backup is not possible. If the log backup is not possible, okay, there is no point in time recovery. So log backup is possible in the bulk log recovery model is the same point. I'll ask in a different way. Can we take the log backup in the bulk log recovery model?
Same, yes, sir. If it is,
Yes, sir.
if there are no bulk up.
Correct.
No, sir.
If there are no bulk operations, we can take, sir. If it is bulk operation, we can't pass it. Not possible, sir.
That's it. That's why if there is no log backup, that's why point in time recovery is not possible in the bulk log recovery model. Is it clear, guys? There is no confusion. Very simple, guys. Okay. So in the full recovery model, point in time recovery is possible. In the full recovery model, all the backups are possible. So that's why point in time recovery is possible. In the bulk log recovery model, yes, if there are no bulk operations, it will behave like a same full recovery model database. If there are bulk operations, okay, all the bulk operations are minimally logged, so log backup is not possible. So point in time recovery is not possible. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sir, so if there are no bulk logged means then we can use that full recovery model, right, sir?
That's what. See,
instead of that, we can go.
Yeah, mostly we don't use this bulk log recovery model, but sometimes users will ask us, hey, I'm going to perform a bulk operation, so the log file will grow like anything. So please control the log file growth. Keep changing your recovery model from full to bulk log, so that you can control the log file growth. If you don't control the log file growth, what will happen, guys? In which drive your log file is there, the drive is going to consume completely. There will be no free space. If there is no free space in the log file, what happened? Your application won't work. So that's why for safer side, application team or developers will ping us and they will ask us to change the bulk log recovery model. Once we change it to bulk log recovery model, then the log file growth will be in control, guys, so that they can perform bulk operations. Got the point?
Okay, sir.
Right. So we don't use it, but this is the usage of the bulk log recovery model database. Okay, in simple
But in
recovery
some
model,
cases only.
in some
In some
cases only,
cases
in
only
very
when
rare
it is
cases,
required.
mostly in full or simple only. 90% your database recovery models will be in full recovery model only, guys. 90% your database recovery model should be full only. 10% is simple. Only 10% is simple, or 9% is simple. 1% is rarely you can see bulk log recovery model databases. Okay, the interview question is, point in time recovery is possible or not possible in the bulk log recovery model? That is the interview question. Okay, the answer is possible if there are no bulk operations, not possible if there are bulk operations. That's it. If you don't understand whatever we discussed till now, this is the short answer, guys. Okay, just a one line answer. Right, simple recovery model. In simple recovery model also, it will record each and everything. Your log file, it means what? Your log file will record each and every transaction. But in a regular intervals, your log file will be truncated. Automatically. Okay, so what is the disadvantage with the simple recovery model, guys? Your log file will keep truncating, guys. Your log file will keep truncating automatically. If you don't want to grow your log file, you can keep the database in the simple recovery model. So what happened? Your log file will keep truncating. Do you know when it will be truncated automatically? Every 60 seconds, when the checkpoint runs, the log file will be truncated. When checkpoint runs, log file will be truncated. When checkpoint runs, usually in the organization, automatic checkpoint will runs for every 1 minute, 60 seconds, guys. Okay, so every 60 seconds your log file will be truncated, means every 60 seconds your log file will be erased. So how can you take the log backups? Every 1 minute, if your log file is clearing, what data will be stored in the log file? Then how you can take the log backups? So log backups are not possible in the not at all possible. In the full, log backups are possible. In the bulk logged, yes, possible. If there are no bulk operations, no, not possible if there are bulk operations. In the simple, log backups are not at all possible. So point in time recovery is not at all possible. In the if there are no log backups, we cannot achieve point in time recovery. So point in time recovery is not possible in the simple recovery model, guys. So if you see your system databases, okay, some of the system databases in simple recovery model, guys. So how can you check it? You can check each and every system database, or else you can use one query sp_help_db. It will tell you, okay, the recovery model of the database also. Okay, if you expand, you can see. Okay, so if you see here, or else let me go with like this, select star from sys.databases. Okay, here in one column you can see recovery model. Yes, recovery model description. Okay, so let me drag this column. Or what we can do, select name, comma.
Select,
Guys,
yeah, sir.
these many columns are, lot of columns are there. How can we filter this? I just want to see database name and
Name and
recovery model.
name, comma, recovery model.
That's
sir.
it. Instead of
Select
star, what I'm going to do, guys, select
name,
name, comma, recovery model description. Recovery model.
under
Recovery
something
underscore model,
underscore.
right?
Yes, sir.
Description. Okay. Description. DESC means description, guys. Right? So I can see only two columns now, the database name and the recovery model. See here, master is in simple. That's why you cannot take log backups on master database. TempDB, of course, you cannot take any perform. Full, your model is in full recovery model. That's why you can take all the backups on model database, guys. On model database, you can perform full. Like on model database, you can perform what is that? Differential backups. On model database, you can perform log backups. Okay, so the MSDB recovery model is simple. Only full backups are possible, guys. Okay, so you can see here, use all the user databases by default, it will be in full recovery model, but Okay, 99% it will be in full recovery model only. Maybe in 1 or 2% it will be in simple recovery model. If it is in simple recovery model, you cannot take the log backup. So in the database where I can see the recovery model, guys, go to the database properties. Okay, there you can see options. You can see
Options, sir.
here, guys. Okay, recovery model. You can change recovery model from here. Full to bulk log you want to change, you can change it. Bulk log to simple you want to change, you can change it. So this is how you can change the recovery model, guys. Now I just changed the recovery model of the employee. Earlier you can see full. Okay, now if I execute, you can see simple recovery model. Okay, so this is how we have to check the recovery model. We have to change the recovery model, guys. Right, clear? Any issues, any doubts, please? Simply, okay, your log file, your recovery model means it is going to control the behavior of the log file, guys. If your database recovery model is full, your log file will behave differently. If your database recovery model is bulk logged, your database, your log file will behave differently. If your recovery model is simple, your log file will behave differently, guys. 90% no one will choose simple, that too in the production server. Why? Because in the simple data loss might be there. So that's why we don't choose simple. 90% we don't choose simple, but again it depends upon the customer requirement. If the developers is asking please keep it in simple, we'll keep it in simple only. We don't have any issues. Clear on recovery models? What is the recovery model and all? Is it clear?
Sir, if it is in if it is in full recovery model, there may be a chance the log file will be full, right, sir?
Did not get you.
If recovery model is in full,
Okay,
there may be a chance log files can be like full, right, sir? I mean, what can I say? Full transactions log file full అవ్వడానికి chances ఉన్నాయి కదా, sir?
yeah, that's what in the
Then
in
how
the
we
full
are going
recovery
to
model.
uh,
Then we'll get alerts. Okay, we'll set up alerts. Okay, in case if my
okay.
log file is more than 90%, we'll directly get an alert to our Outlook. Okay,
Okay.
then we'll go to that
Mhm.
particular server, we'll check the database and we'll troubleshoot that issue why the log file is full. Okay, so accordingly based on the situation we are going to take the decision. Sometimes we have to shrink the log file, guys. Okay, we have to shrink the log file to control the to reclaim the free space. To reclaim the free space, we have to shrink the log file. Okay,
Okay.
but we'll set up an alerts. Why? Because it's very important. Thousands of databases we are going to maintain. Okay, if any database log file is full, it cannot, means it's simply if you close your door, can I come to into your house? No, right? It's not
No.
possible. So in the same way, if the log file is completely full, or else simply I'll go in this example, in the room 100 persons are there. Now there is no space to enter into the room. Can anyone enter into that particular room? You know, right? How trains will be there for Sankranti. Agree? Even though we have reservation, even though we have reservation third AC or first AC, second AC, we can't even enter into the train itself. That much rush will be there. Not even a single person can't go inside that particular train. In the same way, once the log file is full, no transaction cannot be inserted into the log file. So if the transactions are not going to be not inserted into the log file, your database will be full and your application will be stopped. Your application won't work. Why? Because what is the application duty? It has to read the data from the database. It has to write the data to the database. It is not accepting itself. How can we insert the records? So that's why if the log file is full, your application will stop working, guys. Okay, is it clear? So in the organization, how we are going to maintain, we'll have a setup of alerts, guys. In case of any log file is full or we don't wait till the log file is full. Once the log file reaches 90%, means 100 GB, if log file reaches 90 GB, we'll immediately get an alert. So we have a time to check. 10 GB free space is there. We have a time to troubleshoot. We'll troubleshoot the issue immediately so that you can create a free space in the log file so that your application will work smoothly, guys. Any issues in the recovery models, please?
Shrinking, is there any other option to minimize the log file space?
You can change it to log simple recovery model if you are okay with the data loss.
Okay.
If you are okay, if the customer is okay, but no one will go with the data loss, right? So, but there is a way to control the log file growth. You can change the recovery model from full to simple, but that is not a perfect solution. That is the last solution we have.
So it's going to truncate only Sunday to Sunday, doing full back.
Whatever records are there in the particular log file, not Sunday to Sunday. If already those records are truncated, how can you come? It won't depends on your backups, guys. Whatever transactions are there inside in your log file, it will truncate. Okay. Is it clear? Any issues, any doubts in the recovery models?
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Please.
So my database is not for transactions, sir. And we are not going to insert any transaction in particular database. We are using that reading purpose only. We're getting, I mean, we are going to select that database. That time you can use that simple, right? Recovery model.
No, not like that. See, in case if that is the case, keep the database in read-only mode. Okay. So it's not like, so I'll use only select query. So I'll change the recovery model to simple. I'll use insert query. Again, I'll change it to full. You cannot do like that. Okay. You cannot switch like that. Once you are decided, once your application team is decided, okay, you have to go with that recovery model only. I'll use only select query. So I'll go with the simple recovery model, not like that. Don't treat in that way. I just explained you to just, you'll get an idea. That's it. Okay, you might use in a different way select queries, but some maintenance operations will be there. Agree? Index rebuilding, reorganizes operations will be there regularly. So that is an insert operation, that is a write operation. Then how can you keep in a simple recovery model? It will create problem, right? Okay, so it's not depends upon your requirement. It's completely depends upon your application requirement. They will tell us, okay, what recovery model and all. So based on that, you can go for 90%. I told you, right? 95% or 98%, all the databases will be in full recovery model only. Okay, guys, any questions, any doubts, any issues? And whenever you change the recovery model, you have to take the backup, guys. Whenever you change the recovery model, you have to take the full backup. Then only it will detect the new recovery model. No need to restart the SQL server. Once I changed my recovery, now if you see employee recovery model, I just changed it from full to simple, right? So now I have to take the full backup on this database. Otherwise, it don't detect the new recovery model. Okay, otherwise it don't detect the, it will show you like that, but it is not exactly a simple recovery model database. When it will be converted into simple recovery model database, once you took full backup on this database, then the new recovery model will be applied, guys. Okay, that is called your particular pseudo simple recovery model. Pseudo means what? It's a feeling, right? Pseudo simple recovery model. Okay, what is the meaning of this pseudo simple recovery model, guys? Whenever you change the recovery model, you have to take the full backup. Until you took the full backup, it will behave like it is an old recovery model. You just changed the recovery model from full to simple. You have to take a full backup. Until then, it will behave like a full recovery model database only. You just changed a recovery model from simple to full. Any recovery model to any recovery model, you have to take a full backup, guys. Any recovery model to any recovery. Once you change the recovery model, okay, you have to take a full backup. If you don't take it until you took the full backup, it will behave like a pseudo simple recovery model. Means it is in the old recovery model database. Means that the settings won't be applied permanently. The state is called pseudo simple recovery model. Is it clear, guys? Any issues, any doubts?
So at this point, we should aware and we take the full backup before
Yes.
to change
After changing the recovery model, it's your responsibility to change the to take the full backup.
Because we don't get any alert like while changing that
Yes.
recovery model.
You can set alerts also. You can set alerts also. Okay, but usually, okay, what happened? Usually, we have to take a full backup. 90%, no one will set alerts, but 90% it will be in full recovery model only, right? But it's our responsibility. Once you got a task, hey, can you please change the recovery model of this database? Then you have to change it and you have to take the full backup, guys. Okay, so any questions, any doubts, please? No doubts? Guys, is it clear or not clear?
Sir.
But if we change the
Yes, sir.
recovery model, each and every time we get you take the backups.
Yes, correct. If you change the recovery model, every time you have to take a full backup, not all the backups. Guys, if you don't understand anything, there are 3 bullet points. We have 3 recovery models: full, bulk logged, simple. In the full, all the backups are possible. Okay, point in time recovery is possible. In the bulk logged, all the backups are not possible. So depends. If there are no bulk operations, all the backups are possible. So point in time recovery is possible. If there are bulk operations, all the backups are not possible. So there is no point in time recovery in the bulk log recovery model. And in the
Sir,
simple
అది
recovery
automatically
model,
గా చెక్ చేస్తుందా సార్?
yes, it will do it automatically. We don't do anything. Okay, we don't do anything. It will do it automatically. Right? And third one, simple recovery model. In the simple recovery model, all the transactions are fully logged, but in a regular intervals, your particular log file will be truncated. Regular intervals means whenever checkpoint runs, okay, whenever you took the backup. So in all these cases, okay, your log file will be truncated. So every 60 seconds, the log file will be truncated. So nothing is there. We can take the backup. If nothing is there in the log file to take the backup, so how can we take the log backup? For every 60 seconds, the log file is truncating. So it's not possible to take the log backups, right? So if there is no possibility of log backups, point in time recovery is not possible. And whenever you change the recovery model, you have to take the full backup to apply the new recovery model. These are the 4 important bullet points, guys. Whatever we discussed since 1 hour, this is the main bullet points of this topic. Is it clear? Any issues, any doubts? Please reconnect again, guys.